Hey everyone, welcome. How are you? If you don't know me, well, you don't know me. I don't specifically go by a name somewhat, but I am getting more active, back to getting active on my YouTube page. People who have subscribed to me from many years ago of me singing, thank you so much. But I am working on and been trying to do something like this for a while. So this is just a predecessor of something that I'm fully working on. But God is saying, put yourself out there. No matter if you don't have the right technology to do it, go ahead and do it. And so this is what I'm doing. And so I just want to share with you, my family, of course, they know I like doing this. And but just want to put my information out there, putting things out there, and just to get the ball rolling. Because what the heck, right? I shouldn't have said that, but anyway. So yeah, so I'm sharing my viewpoints, my viewpoints, but also sharing my news and my picks of the week of from this starting Sunday, May 3rd to Friday, May 8th. And so this is all different headline news and entertainment news that I will be sharing on here. So this is my picks that I want to discuss. And so this is my little mashup. Just a little bit about me though. I do have a background in journalism and broadcasting. So any news that you'll be getting for me or any information that you've been that you are going to get from me are going to be research information. It's not going to be something that's just put together, no research, lollygagging. I can't promise you I'm going to be perfect because no one is perfect and I might miss some stuff, but you will get some real thorough information because that's one of my many backgrounds and gifts that I have done. So started off, kicking off this week, enough said. Happy Mother's Day. Yes, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers this weekend. I'm so blessed to have my wonderful mother, my wonderful grandma, my wonderful aunties and cousins who are mothers, and including my late grandmother on my dad's side, and my aunts who've passed on my dad's side, and as well, so, and other extended families. So I just want to wish all the wonderful mothers a happy Mother's Day, and that means mothers who are mother figures in women's lives and girls' lives and boys' lives and everybody's lives. So happy Mother's Day, happy blessed Mother's Day. Moms are very important, and I'm just blessed to have my wonderful mother who is my best friend, and my grandmother as well was also my best friends and my aunts. So yeah, but my mom, that's my girl. I love her, I love her. Or I should say, that's my lady, my queen. So happy Mother's Day to all of you, beautiful mothers. And the women of the church mothers, the first ladies, all of you all. God bless you, and happy Mother's Day. Okay, so again, this is my picks, guys, from Sunday, May 3rd to Friday, May 8th. So this is my mashup for the week. And I'm starting with the obvious news, and I have notes when I do my stuff because I don't like to mess some stuff up. So starting with the obvious stories of the week, or my picks, I should say, of the week. We have Trump. Trump insists that taxpayers will not be paying $1 billion to fund his new ballroom in the White House, in which some reporters from the Independent and various news sources are saying that the money is not necessarily going to be used, taxpayers' monies is not going to be used to build his new ballroom, but it will be going to use as security to protect him. However, critics, reporters are saying, and even commissioners and senators in the White House are saying, and the House are saying, that it is hard to distinguish I should say, where the money specifically will be going, to distinguish if it's just for construction or security. That is the gimmick. So if it sounds confusing to you, that's because it is confusing and that is not honest. Next on this is that Trump is continued war. Not Trump necessarily, but the war is continuing in Iran, excuse me, y'all. In Iran, that's causing the U.S. to be in danger. Um, this war is very chaotic. I do feel that the United States necessarily is not equipped for this battle, this war going on in Iran. And I don't think it's needed right now. There's so much going on in America with many Americans needing stuff right now. And the economy is not improving, it's getting worse. And I would say this: when America gets a cold, Black Americans get the flu. Next is the Hantavirus. The Hantavirus, I received some really good information from a doctor on YouTube. I am subscribed to her page. I'm subscribed to a lot of people's pages, but this is my first. I'm actually just doing strictly news on my page, as I usually do singing on my YouTube page. That's where I started my YouTube videos for in the past, was singing. But I've been skeptical ever since someone used my voice without permission, even though they told me. Crazy. So yeah, I'm not sure about that anymore, though I still love singing. Okay, so the Hantavirus, we're finding out, is a rare but serious zoonotic virus, according to the AP News, carried by rodents and most commonly found in rats and mice. It causes severe illness in humans with two main syndromes depending on the region. There's Hantavirus pulmonary syndrome, which is known as HPS in the Americas, as they're saying in South America specifically, and a hemorrhagic fever, excuse me guys, and Raynaud syndrome, HFRS, in Europe and Asia. On the ship, if you guys have not been following the story, the Hantavirus started on this cruise ship on April 1st. There was a 70-year-old Dutch man and his wife who were exploring Argentina, and the ship, apparently from there, they got on a ship and it set off from Ushuaia in the far south of Argentina. And it was scheduled stops that included Antarctica and several isolated South Atlantic Ocean islands. At the time, the ship was going to Spain's Canary Islands, but the outbreak expanded. Well, at first it wasn't considered an outbreak at the time, but it soon became an outbreak on May 5th when the ship became closer to South Africa. And I know people like in South Africa probably like, please don't bring this over here. But this is a very serious case. And so now they're saying that it's not possible to do human to human contact, and that the virus does start with rodents, but you have to figure out where exactly did this hantavirus begin. Like, were these rodents, how did the rodents become infected? I mean, I know animals become infected, can have germs anywhere, but the fact, like, were there rodents sent on the ship? Was somebody bitten by a rat or something, and this caused this? I haven't did enough research on this, you all, so I'm not going to expound too much, but I just want to notify you of what's going on in the country and locally, of where I'm located. And but yeah, and so the man, he ended up dying, his wife died. And so when more people were becoming infected and dying off, this is when they said this isn't an outbreak. So the story shall be continued. But you can go to AP News and they have a timeline of when this outbreak started. Next is Walgreens is closing its doors in Chicago's Southside Chatham neighborhood. The Walgreens that will be closing is the one located on 86th and Cottage Grove on Chicago's South Side. Now, if you know about Chicago, you know Chicago is a very segregated city. There's the black neighborhoods, there's the white neighborhoods, and then there's the Hispanic, Latino neighborhoods. And there's starting to be a gradually or sometime mixed areas. Like if you go to the north side, some of those areas there's mostly mixed areas, but then there's also predominantly white areas on the north side as well. But if you live in Chicago, or if anyone knows about Chicago, it's very segregated. And specifically in the black communities don't get enough resources, or there's just none at all. And so the sixth-ward alderman, William Hall, is seeking criminal charges against Walgreens for leaving residents in the Chatham neighborhood without a location to gain medication. He quotes, in which this quote is from, crediting ABC7 Chicago reporter Jasmine Miner. Alderman William Hall says, "They extract profit and walk away knowing full well what it costs this community. When you shut down a pharmacy here, you are cutting off access to medication for seniors and vulnerable residents. This is a life or death situation." Again, credited by ABC7 Chicago from reporter Jasmine Miner. But everything that he said is absolutely correct and truth. It's always good when you have a alderman in your corner, especially on Chicago's South Side, in the black community, who fights for their residents. Many aldermen in Chicago do not do their job diligently, as they should. And if you're not familiar with Chicago politics, things are very sketchy a lot of the times, especially in Cook County. But I am hoping that something is resolved, because this is not the first for Chicago, as many Walgreens on Chicago's South Side in predominantly black neighborhoods have closed up. The Walgreens on 71st and South Shore is closed. The Walgreens on 75th and Jeffrey Boulevard is closed. The Walgreens on 95th and Jeffrey is closed. And now they're talking about closing. Oh, and not me forget that the Walgreens on, I want to say 63rd and Cottage Grove is closed. And that area is very desolate. No stores, no nothing but apartments that look like prisons, as they have to walk through security to get through there. Not the whole area now. I don't want people to get a bad picture of what it looks like. But 86 and Cottage Grove, if you grew up in that area, Chatham is actually a middle-class area, or was a middle-class area for many black communities. And so it's between the divider line of Chatham, and then when you go further east, it's Calumet Heights, Peel Hill. So we're talking a middle-class black community where a lot of people work for the city, or working class people, or teachers, or doctors, or nurses. Of course, times have changed, but that is what Chatham was. And some still are that, and some are still, there. I mean, you have people from all over, all various fields within the black community who live in Chatham. So this is not an area that was considered sketchy, if you will, and I use quotes because I don't like using that, the obvious word that everybody like to use. So this has been a problem for a while, and so I'm not too busy to see what is going on in our communities, and I'm hoping something changes because it's unfair that people do not have access to medication, and it's not fair that there are no grocery stores in a lot of these communities. Mind you, this location where Walgreens is the same location where Target was closed. It's called the Chatham Village Village Square. So this is the same area where they closed Target maybe like 4 years ago. And so the reason why they're saying they're closing this Walgreens is because of too many theft and corporate damage. So with that being said, people are not perfect, right? There's going to be theft in many stores, in many neighborhoods. But that to me sounds just like an excuse to just close up its doors because they no longer want to service the Black community. And that's what it sounds like to me. I mean, they steal so much downtown as well, so I don't see the difference. I'm not sure Walgreens really want to stay in business. Hello, CVS, I guess. Okay. And so a little too switching gears into a little bit into entertainment. I can't say I'm a fan, but I enjoy watching them, the Real Housewives franchise. And so I did watch last season, or Real Housewives of Potomac. So now I'm watching Real Housewives of Atlanta. And the newcomers on the show this year is K. Michelle, R&B and country singer K. Michelle, and Pinky, the owner of Atlanta's popular vegan food chain, Slutty Vegan. I have not been there myself, but I heard about it. And I saw it one time when I was visiting there briefly. Have to go back to Atlanta because I have family and colleagues there and friends there. But I want to do a little recap about the rant between Angela and Pinky. Now, I noticed with these shows, a lot of these girls are like, I want to say hazed or initiated in, like they're a part of some sorority or something, but that's what it looked like to me. And so at the table, I don't know if you guys saw, if you have not seen it yet, spoiler alert, but it's Friday, so that's why I'm talking about it from Sunday, premiered on Sunday, May 3rd. Angela, did you guys think that Angela started the rant with Pinky? Because, Cynthia took the girls out. They're out in Dallas, Texas at this big, like, not resort, but like this big home or mansion, like bed and breakfast vibe in the outskirts of Dallas, Texas. They look like they're in the middle of nowhere, but in Dallas, Texas. I have family there too. I have family everywhere, just to let you all know. And so, there was Cynthia had them come with her because she's working on creating a new rum, I think. No, that's Shamia that's doing the rum. Shout out to Shamia on that. But she's doing a tequila, I think. I think she's working on tequila. I don't, really drink, so I don't know, but excuse me, guys. So, but anyway, when they were sitting at the table, Pinky was just saying, seemed like Angela and Pinky was getting into it, and I was trying to figure out why did Angela even start going in on her. Then she started calling her Mr. Clean because Pinky got I just feel like it's so petty because Pinky has a fade and blonde hair, and then Pinky was talking about Angela, how she looking with her how she looked without her wig on. It was just doing a lot, and I was trying to figure out why did Angela kept saying you seem mad and aggressive. I wasn't sure about that part, but to be honest, you know, Pinky got all of these businesses, and you know, Angela, you're working on your homes from the foreclosure. It was just too much. So anyway, but Pinky was not backing down with Angela. If you have not seen it, and so I was just kind of like, okay. But anyway, my question was, did you think Angela started the mess? Did she start it? I'm just trying to figure out what was the point of it. I guess to make ratings. I don't know. And then Shamia and Kelly were put in a pool house. So it was the main house. They have the main house, the pool house, and then the tiny house, which was very nice. That's where Pinky was in. Cynthia chose Pinky because she said she felt like she was a boss. So she chose her. And actually, I would have loved that myself. Like, yes, get away from the drama. I'd rather be in a tiny house. But anyway, she put them in a pool. Shamia and Kelly wasn't really feeling it. But she felt that because they were close friends, that they would work out, and that this would be fine for them to be in a pool house. I don't know. I just think they should have one big main house, but I know it's kind of hard to do that when there's so many girls on the trip. But they said it was dirty, maybe a little bit. I mean, I'm kind of like, yeah, you know. But at least they can go swimming. I mean, it's nice. I think it's better. You don't have to be around, you know, be away from the drama, because unfortunately, a lot of us as women don't know how to just support each other like we should, and become jealous of people's businesses, and because they're not at what they at, so they get jealous. That's not good. And that's not what beautiful Christian women should be doing. If you're a Christian, a lot of people aren't Christian, so that probably is why. Anyway, K Michelle, you can tell she's not down for the drama. So far, K Michelle is like, I don't have time for this mess. I'm focusing on winning, getting my health back. I'm focusing on not having all of this drama, chaos. She just got married to a guy she known for years, and they dated at the time, her old boyfriend, and they rekindled, and then they got married. But K Michelle was like, I'm not having it. I'll see y'all later. And her glam didn't show up, so she didn't stay for the dinner party. Shamia and Kelly didn't stay either because they just wasn't feeling the accommodations for the house. So, but yeah, K Michelle's like, but by the way, I love K Michelle's voice. She can sing. And Pinky and K Michelle both are part of the same sorority. Went to different HBCUs, which is cool, but part of the same sorority. And Phaedra is saying, everybody knows Phaedra, is saying that Pinky is not a real vegan, and that she used to eat meat, or that she does eat meat, because she and her family owned a Jamaican restaurant. And she is Jamaican, or Jamaican American, and eats meat. And Jamaican food is known for meat, jerk chicken and everything. And so I think Kelly mentioned this to Shamia too. So that is the rumor going around, alleged rumor. And I have to remember to say alleged, guys. I'm new to this. So allegedly, Phaedra is saying that Pinky eats meat. And Pinky is saying is mad at Phaedra as well, because she's saying it's messing up her brand because she doesn't eat meat, and she's a part of the PETA board. So that shall unravel. But anyway, we're going to stay tuned to the ladies in Dallas on their trip on Real Housewives Atlanta. So we shall see what happens next. And switching gears to some sad news. Grammy-winning Acadian Zydeco blues legend, bassist, and musician Lee Allen Zeno from Louisiana dies at 71. He suffered from a long bout of cancer, and he has been suffering with leukemia for many years. He has toured with many notable artists, including Buckwheat Zydeco, and played with Marcia Ball, Carol Fran, Irma Thomas, and many, many others. Fans has been pouring out love and prayers and condolences for Mr. Zeno and his family. He was a legend in the Zydeco community and a notable bassist, played in many bands. Again, he won many Grammys. He's Grammy Award winning, and it's just unfortunate that this disease is still a issue in this country. Many diseases are still an issue in this country, and I'm sure that they can be cured. Following more with unfortunate news, CNN founder Ted Turner dies at 87 from Lewy body dementia, which is a progressive form of Alzheimer's. And in 2025, he also suffered with pneumonia. He was considered the first to create a 24 hours news network with live coverage. And so, if you don't know, CNN started in 1980 in Atlanta, which was where its original headquarters was located, or is located, but not inside the original building. And yeah, I also apparently CNN might be going into more a conservative viewpoint than their Democratic, more moderate liberal views that they had in the past. So I'm not sure how that's going to work out, how it's going to turn out. And the journalists who report and their correspondents that are on this network probably will change, will either no longer be a part of the network or will still be there, but they will have to change their content. And I would say as a journalist, that's no fun, because if that's the reason why you came to that network, it's not exciting to change to something that you're not comfortable with reporting with, even though journalists should be biased. Unbiased. Forgive me on that, y'all. Journalists should be unbiased and not biased. But it's kind of hard because media kind of force you to be biased on a lot of things, which is what I was trying to say, and it's not cool. But I think my uncle told me a little bit about that the content would change some. So we shall see what happened, but condolences to the Turner family. By the way, I didn't realize that he was, that under that umbrella, CNN was Cartoon Network. I knew about TBS. Turner Classic Movies, I didn't know about that. And another network. I can't think of it. Okay, back to some more. Switching gears. Beyond the Gates. If you do not watch Beyond the Gates, where have you been? I mean, your life should be just so boring. I love Beyond the Gates. Beyond the Gates is the first Black hour-long scripted soap opera. It's just amazing. Love it. Starring Tamara Tunney and legendary actor Clifton Davis. Both legendary actors, I should say. And also Daphne Duplay, including Carla Mosley as the four Dupree's, original Dupree family. Also stars Keith David Robertson and Trisha Mann Grant. Ugh, I'm just a fan of her acting. I'm a fan of all their acting. Trisha Mann Grant gives up oomph when it comes to acting. I just love her. Very amazing. But highlighting from Monday, I had just Monday and a little bit of Thursday, because this week CBS was interrupted with some soccer going on in London, so I didn't get everything, which I was very disappointed about, because I'm not a soccer fan, and not especially in London. No disrespect to people in London. Hello, London. But I really wanted to see Beyond the Gates, and Paramount decided to put them in that slot between 1:00 p.m. Central Time / 3 p.m. Eastern. So, but anyway, so if you do not follow the show, you have to see it. It's amazing, Beyond the Gates. And if you do follow the show and you haven't watched it, then spoiler alert, don't listen to this. So I'm just recapping a little bit about Martin, Nicole's son, Nicole and Ted Richardson's son, wants to run for Senate as Senator wants to run for Senate, but Senator Vernon Dupree and Anita Dupree are worried about his safety because you know the background of his story of what happened. They're scared that that's gonna come up. We're finding out we're still trying to find out where's Lynette Wise, and everybody's trying to figure out, is Haley a part of this? Okay, of course, as the audience, we know that she is, but the Dupree family does not know. But they're getting close. They're getting close. And Rudy, and so Haley and Rudy are really working, which is Haley's cousin, who works for Joey, are planning to kill Bill. Especially Haley, because she's money hungry. Everything is money, money, money. That's her scheme. But investigative Kat is trying to get to the source along with her unfaithful beau, Tomas. And then Leah, chief of staff of Garland Hospital, Leah Whitmore, may be getting caught soon. Naomi, of course, still not telling the family that she has the BRCA gene. And she's stressed about waiting for her hubby, who was Detective Jacob Hamilton, aka just Jacob. She's still stressed about wanting him to end this risky, dangerous investigative piece, this investigative story that he's a part of. This investigation he's on. And so it's stressing Naomi out. And so for a long time, Naomi kind of been wanting to tell Jacob, but she hasn't. Again, she told Ashley, which I'm glad about. She did tell her friend, because that's not good to hold on to that type of secret for so long, something like that. And Naomi's played by Ariel, Propetite. So, but come on, Naomi, you're killing me. By the way, me and my mom, we love this show, so we are such fans of Beyondthegates. Okay. Now, Nicole and Ted, it was their first anniversary since they divorced, Dr. Ted Richardson. And so Martin was walking in, I think this was last Friday, was walking in, and he noticed that they were looking cozy together. Like they were hugging it out. And Martin like, okay, what's going on here? We kind of noticed that a bit, or noticed this when it was Kat's birthday, and Nicole and Ted were looking chummy. So it wasn't a outrage on their first anniversary post-divorce. And of course, Leslie, played by Trisha Mann Grant, and Eva, played by Amber Michelle, run into Nicole and Kat at the country clubhouse, the most elegant place to dine at Fairmont Crest. And so they were kind of duking it out there, specifically Nicole. Nicole was really duking it out, and Kat was like, you ain't gonna mess with mama. And so Trisha Mann Grant like, oh, I'm happy, or not Trisha Mann Grant, Leslie was like, I'm happy that this happened, because this was the anniversary of when Leslie gave out the secret that he has a secret love child with her on that day that Nicole and Ted anniversary were to be celebrating their anniversary. So this was everything was the first anniversary. And so, but Eva was supporting her mom on that. So that was good. Grayson still hurt from being stabbed. Ashley trying her best to keep this covered up as she's drinking medication and everything to stop Grayson from dying, pretty much, because he was stabbed. And so she's getting medication from her hospital, bringing it back to the house. And Jacob is still recovering from having fractured ribs from the same guy who stabbed Grayson. Okay, and then so we're fast forwarding Thursday, May 7th, okay? Here we are. we're trying to figure out who really is the impaler right now, right? So we're wondering if Leah Whitmore, the chief of staff, is she really the impaler for Garland Memorial Hospital? Or is it the head honcho, Joey? Is he the true impaler? Because Leah, we're finding out, knows Joey. Joey knows everybody, yet he is someone you don't want to know. So we're trying to figure out, is it Leah the impaler or is it really Joey? Kitty Cat Richardson is not backing down on finding out what happened to Lynette Wise and if Haley could possibly be involved with this. She's helping her comeback view Tomas solve this case. But Bill Hamilton is not having it, and he does not like that Tomas, as a junior partner, is involving his girlfriend in this case. I think it's cute that they got Kat as a detective. Who knows, she could be a part of the team. If you put that in there, Beyond the Gates, credit me. I know, I will see it. Anyway, next we have Vanessa, who's also playing detective, because her and Danny were suspicious about Haley backing down on just the fact that she knew Lynette Wise. You know, Danny saw them. If you don't remember the episode, she was out. Lynette said she's a big fan of Danny, and this happened before Lynette went missing. So Danny said she saw her before, and so now Vanessa is trying to figure out why all of a sudden Lynette did not want to buy this penthouse, and she runs into Haley at Uptown. Haley does not want to, of course, say, she don't know why. So she's not giving up the deeds to missing out on her money. Nicole seems to finally be focused on Carlton than Kyle, because Ted, on their anniversary, their first day of non-anniversary, I should say, Ted told Nicole that during that doctor's conference that they supposed to have met at, Carlton not only was interested in Nicole, but he also went looking for her, and Ted purposely pointed Carlton in the wrong direction, and Ted knew where Nicole was. So they both were trying to play at Nicole pretty much. And so since Ted has told Nicole this, now Carlton seems more interested, more focused, I should say. She was always interested in Carlton, but more focused in Carlton so far than Kyle. Though she continues to have her rendezvous with Kyle, I think she's getting more closer to being focused with Carlton, because now she's seeing, oh, this man really has true feelings for me, even though he confessed it already. I still think it's odd that you're the ex-wife of your husband's friend, like that you're dating your husband's friend. I think that's weird, and I like that they did put it that Ted was upset. I think any real man will be upset about that situation. If they didn't put that in there, I would be like, this is not real. And so next, Jacob, aka Detective Jacob Hamilton, is still undercover, and is still finding out who's selling plasma. Again, that's what the impaler. We're trying to figure out who's selling this plasma out of the hospital. And so Smitty is hanging in there. Smitty is like, I'm a journalist. I'm getting this investigative piece done. Jacob, you're not going to stop me. And so Jacob's trying to tell him, look, this is serious. You might mess me up, because he already kind of messed up a little bit when he hacked into Nicole's computer trying to find information of the person who might be the culprit of this situation. And so unfortunately Nicole told Leah, and she doesn't know Leah is the crazy one in this situation. But that's what I got so far, guys. I didn't get to Friday today's yet because it's been so busy, and I'm trying to get everything set up. Okay, and so now we had the Met Gala 2026. And so of course, they said Beyonce made it to the red carpet. She hadn't been at Met Gala for a few while, but she made it there, got her outfit out, got it out, everything. So amazing, beautiful, including her eldest daughter, Blue Ivy, and Jay-Z on the red carpet. But I was excited to hear and see Nia Long on a red carpet for the first time, looking elegant in her all black gown with a plungy neckline and a beautiful, gorgeous neck piece, bedazzled neck piece to go in. You can always never go wrong with classic. Classic is always the icing on the cake, but she looks so gorgeous. And then of course Miss Angela Bassett looks stunning in the 2020 in her 2026 appearance with a striking homage to Harlem Renaissance art with a custom Prabal Grand gown paying tribute to Laura Wheeler Waring's 1927 painting called Girl in the Pink Dress. So that was really nice to see her. She looks stunning in her pink dress and giving the actual makeup here with the pink along with that matched the art piece, and it was an oil to canvas piece. It was really beautiful. And so these were two beautiful black queens, including Beyonce, but black queens that you've seen, that you haven't paying homage to black excellence. And I always love Miss Angela Bassett because she knows who she is. When you knows who you are, you can always make a entrance. And so her and Nia Long really speak volumes about who they are as queens. And so I love their outfit. There were many others I didn't really get to see all of everything, but I was happy to just want to emphasize them a lot. And so switching gears to sad news, where I think I remember hearing this story, but it popped up back in my news feed about, and this story really bothered me, about a former sheriff, Jason Mead, who killed Casey Goodson Jr., who was 23 years old at the time, by shooting him in the back 5 times, including 1 shot on his side. Casey Goodson Jr. was on his way taking a bag of Subway sandwiches in one hand to his grandma's house, and he had keys in another hand, including he was listening to music in his earbuds. And so a white sheriff, Meade, shot him thinking it was a gun and stated that he proposed an alleged imminent threat. This incident happened in 2020. So the verdict was that the officer was found guilty. The sheriff was found guilty for doing this. I think they said he's only going to get, I have to look thoroughly on this case, but I think they're saying he's only going to get 5 years, but that was the comment section. That might be wrong, but this story was just sickening because it really made me cry, because I was just imagining myself. I'm like, wow, because I always go to my grandparents' house, and he was going to take food to his grandma on his way. Just imagine. I think one of the witnesses says they saw him. He was just excited, listening to his music, sitting in a car, waiting, and then he got out the car and went to take the sandwiches to his grandma, and had his keys. I'm assuming it was his car keys or house keys to the, it could have been house keys to his grandma's house, and just listened to his music, walking down the street, and was shot. It's just so disheartening, and this is a problem. This is what we're talking about, terrorism and all that. This is terrorism. this is terrorism. And so for me, there should be a law in place to protect black people, black American people, from being shot just because. There's no law to protect hate, to stop hate crimes. And so there may be an act, like there's the George Floyd Act, but there isn't a law in place to stop terrorism. And so this needs to be set in stone. You know, if I'm not mistaken, please, if I'm wrong, you all tell me, put it in the comment section, or someone, you know, message me about this. But there's no law to protect hate crime. You know, if it is, it's for other ethnicities, but it's not one for black Americans or black people, period, you know. So this is a real issue, and I just feel, you can see the reaction. I saw the video, the reaction of his mother, his family and friends, all of them. They were just crying and one of the girls said, "Thank you, Jesus," you know. But the issue is that he retired before he recently retired, which means that was the issue I was at, that means he will still get money, and that's not right. He should not be getting any money for that. You kill an innocent man because you wanted to, trigger happy. This is why you have to pray and protect young men and young women, please, because this is sickening. Okay, and so yesterday was the premiere of the documentary One Golden Summer, about the historic Little League World Series won by Jackie Robinson West, a team filled with joyous black middle-class young men from the south side of Chicago whose championship was taken away. I watched this documentary. It premiered on our own network last night, and I should say Thursday, May 7th of 2026 is when it premiered. But it was a really, that was another emotional thing for me. It was a very emotional documentary, very wow factor. If you have not seen this documentary, please watch it. Please watch it. It was excellent. It was directed by Kevin Shaw and explored many issues. The way it was filmed was beautifully narrated, and it was just a beautiful documentary, a bittersweet documentary, I should say. And I want to say, well, you know, I'm going to say some. If you have not watched it, the culprit, if you see the video, I'm going to do a follow-up on this because it just premiered Thursday and everybody haven't seen it. So I'll do a follow-up probably next week about this. I'll probably do it again at the end of the week. It just shows that racism is an issue, and that racism causes psychological, mental breakdowns in people. This is why we have so much mental illness, especially in the black community, where there are a lot of black people with mental illness, because racism is one of the main culprits of it. I feel like it's the foundation that creates the schizophrenia, that creates the hostility, that creates the anger, that creates the hearing voices, because you can't get, you know, this life wants you, or not this life, people, evil, hatred wants you to stop here. You know, they don't want you to get here. They want you to stop here. And that's what causes, I feel, I'm not a doctor, but this is what I believe that causes psychological issues in our community. After you've seen this documentary, you will see why I say that. But the young men, so much talent. Chicago loved these young men. There was a huge parade for them. It shut down all of the streets in Chicago, everywhere. Just people from all races were there to celebrate them. And I'm gonna save my other opinions for the next video, so I won't say too much. But there is a light at the end of the tunnel once you see the documentary and see what happened to these young men. But there was a darkness, and I don't like to say darkness because, you know, they always say dark is bad. So I should say there was a gloom, because I don't like saying darkness. I always, as a journalist, when I use that word, you know, I never like to say darkness because, you know, when there's people of darker hue, you don't like to say dark, you know, because society will teach you dark is bad when dark is actually can be beautiful or is beautiful. So I like to say gloomy. But so far, that is my end of my video, my wrap up. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I know it was rambling some, but this is just me talking of my takes, my viewpoints of what I decided to highlight from this week, my news mashup of what I wanted to highlight from this week. And so I'm excited to do more of these. Let me know what you think. And yeah, I'm gonna get more in depth. I mean, I might get a little more oomph next time. But this is just what I had. Like I said, I like using notes because I like to make sure I know what I'm saying and what I'm talking about. And if you want to know like more of what I've said, I will leave the sources below in the video because I use actual news sources, actual articles. I'm not just bringing stuff out of thin air. I've done research on it, so I use like AP News, WISN News in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, various news sources. News sources are newsreels that I found or that I got. ABC 7 Chicago. Like the story about the young man who was murdered. This is under, oh yeah, this is AP. So if you don't know what AP is, the Associated Press, that is the foundation in journalism that American journalists use. And then you have, but I also love The Guardian. That's, they use their things too. But hope you enjoyed this, and I hope everyone have a beautiful and blessed Mother's Day. Enjoy it, and may you have a blessed week coming up, a blessed weekend, and a blessed week coming up. Thank you. Bye bye.